I want to start with a serious question. What if I told you that one of the most common monthly pains women experience is being treated, well, entirely backward, like trying to fix a leaky faucet by just mopping the floor?
That is a perfect analogy. It really captures the frustrating state of things. You have this massive biological signal, these menstrual cramps that can be just debilitating.
Mhm.
And for the main type, the one with no clear cause, like endometriosis, the official diagnosis is often primary dysmenorrhea.
Which is just fancy medical speak, and that's usually followed up by the word idiopathic,
Exactly. Idiopathic.
which, for anyone lucky enough to not know that term, basically means, yeah, we see you're in agony, but we don't actually know why. Here's some ibuprofen.
Right. It's pure symptom management. You either get NSAIDs to block the pain, or you get hormonal birth control to just shut the whole system down.
So our mission for this deep dive is to just skip all that. We're going to bypass the symptom masking and find the one single overlooked root cause that explains all of this biological chaos.
And we have to mention the irony here. You can look up natural things that actually have research behind them, like fennel or chamomile, and you'll see these official warnings about insufficient safety evidence.
Meanwhile, NSAIDs can have some really serious side effects on your gut and kidneys, and hormonal contraceptives carry a whole list of risks, but those just hand it out.
It's completely backwards. So let's put on our detective hats. We need to look at the evidence, at the actual biological crime scene when a cramp hits. What's in that cocktail of pain?
Okay, biological detectives, I like it. Where do we start? What's clue number one?
The first clue is the most obvious. The pain chemicals themselves. The immediate throbbing pain is caused by these molecules called prostaglandins. Think of them as a tiny, super aggressive neighborhood watch members who are just sounding the alarm way too loudly.
Okay, so if you take an NSAID, you're just muting the alarm. You're not figuring out who's ringing it or why they're so panicked in the first place. They're just treating the consequence.
Precisely. Which brings us to clue number two. The muscle itself, the constriction. When cramps get really bad, your levels of a chemical called vasopressin shoot up.
Vasopressin. That sounds familiar.
It causes these really intense uterine contractions, and this is critical. It dramatically cuts off blood flow to the area.
Oh, wow. So the muscle is squeezing itself into oblivion, and it's being starved of oxygen at the same time.
Exactly. That combination, the squeezing and the lack of oxygen, that's what creates that really intense, debilitating level of pain.
Okay, so we have pain chemicals and a constricted, oxygen-starved muscle. What's next?
Now we zoom out from the local area to the body's whole system. And this is where it gets really interesting. Clue number three is all about how your body handles calcium. It's run by something called parathyroid hormone, or PTH.
PTH. Okay, and what's its job?
Its job is vital. Keep calcium levels in the blood perfectly stable, no matter what. But when your PTH levels are high, that's a huge red flag. It means your body is struggling.
Struggling how?
It means your body can't absorb calcium from your food, from your gut, which is where it's supposed to get it. So the body flips into panic mode. It pumps out PTH to go and get calcium from the only other place it can.
The bones.
The bones. It's literally robbing the bones to keep the blood stable. It's a full-on emergency state.
So wait a minute. If the body is in this calcium chaos, wouldn't taking vitamin D just mobilize more calcium and make the spasms worse?
That is such a critical question, and it gets to the heart of the whole misunderstanding. High PTH is the symptom of the problem. When you introduce vitamin D, you're not just moving calcium around, you are fixing the original issue. You're allowing the gut to absorb calcium properly again. D3 is the regulator that calms everything down so that high, panicky PTH level can finally drop.
I see. So the chaotic, panic-driven calcium from the bones, how does that directly cause the cramps?
Because that erratic flow makes your muscles, especially smooth muscle, like the uterus, hypersensitive. A muscle contracts when calcium rushes into the cells. In this high PTH state, that process becomes completely uncontrolled. Too much calcium rushes in, and you get spasms, twitching, severe cramps.
That makes so much sense. It explains another clue we found. Sometimes, for really severe cramps, doctors use calcium channel blockers. They're literally blocking that rush of calcium to force the muscle to relax. The problem really is a calcium regulation breakdown.
Exactly. Okay, moving on. Clue number 4 takes us to the internal fire, inflammation. We know that menstrual cramps are linked to way higher levels of inflammation. Specifically, it's driven by this little molecular switch in the uterus called NF-κB. If you have cramps, that switch is flipped on and it's running hot.
A molecular switch? That sounds very complex. How could a simple vitamin possibly affect something like that?
Because D3 isn't just a simple vitamin, it's a sequesteroid hormone. It regulates over 1,000 of your genes. When D3 enters a cell, it binds to what's called the vitamin D receptor, or VDR. And when it does that, it acts as a transcriptional regulator. It literally goes to that NFKB switch and turns the inflammatory fire off. It's a direct foundational anti-inflammatory action.
Wow. Okay, that's huge.
I
That brings us to our last clue, clue number 5. And this one, at first, seems totally random. It's what we're calling the pigment paradox. The statistics are just staggering. Black women are 33% more likely to get severe cramps, and they face a 3 to 9 times increased risk of things like fibroids, cysts, and endometriosis.
It's staggering, and you have to ask, why? Why would skin pigment have such a strong link to uterine health? It's a massive, massive clue that has been almost completely overlooked.
So let's recap the case file. We have angry prostaglandins, we have constricted blood flow, we have a chaotic PTH-driven calcium panic, we have high inflammation from a molecular switch, and we have a clear demographic risk tied to skin color and, therefore, sun exposure, I think. I think the case is solved.
The pain chemicals are just the symptom. The erratic PTH is the chaotic manager. The single foundational piece that was missing, the one that connects all of it, is a severe vitamin D3 deficiency.
It almost sounds too simple. How can one thing fix such a complex, debilitating disaster? But let's connect the dots. How does D3 solve all 5 problems?
Okay, let's run through it. We just talked about how it acts like a hormone. So it actively tells those aggressive prostaglandins to stand down. It also suppresses vasopressin. So that constriction stops and you actually get vasodilation. The blood vessels open up, restoring blood flow and oxygen.
And PTH, our frantic calcium manager.
D3 fixes the root problem by letting you absorb calcium from your gut again. When that happens, PTH levels plummet back to normal. The panic is over. The bones are safe. The whole system stabilizes. And the muscle is no longer hypersensitive.
And the pigment paradox, the higher risk for fibroids and cysts in women with darker skin.
Melanin is nature's sunscreen. It's fantastic protection. But it also blocks the UV radiation your body needs to make vitamin D3. Darker skin can require 5, even 10 times more sun exposure to produce the same amount of D3 as lighter skin. And this directly explains the higher rates of severe cramps, fibroids, and endometriosis, which are all conditions linked to chronic, severe D3 deficiency.
So it's not just about cramps, it's a systemic failure to regulate inflammation and cell growth.
And get this, here's a number that most people, and even many doctors, miss. If you really want to address these deep issues, like shrinking fibroids, the research suggests your D3 blood levels need to be above 90 nanograms per milliliter.
90. And what's considered normal or sufficient on a lab test?
Usually somewhere between 20 and 40. So to get real therapeutic results, you need a level that is way, way higher than what most people think of as just okay.
Okay, so this brings us to the action plan. If the solution is supplementation, we need to be really clear. This isn't just taking a multivitamin.
No, absolutely not. This is a therapeutic strategy. To hit that 90 ng/ml target, the dosing has to be aggressive, at least initially. For severe issues, we are talking about something like 20,000 IUs daily for a period of time.
20,000? That's a very high dose. Should people just start taking that?
No, absolutely not without professional oversight. If you're going to use the dose that high, you have to get your current levels tested first and then monitor them. This is about replenishment, not just taking it forever. And remember, if you're overweight or have insulin resistance, your body struggles to absorb D3, so you might need more just to stay in a healthy range.
Okay, and D3 has a partner, a non-negotiable cofactor. You can't fix this without magnesium.
You cannot. They need each other to work. Remember the chaotic calcium rush causing the spasm? Well, magnesium is your body's natural calcium channel blocker. It's the relaxation mineral. It directly counters that contraction. It's what tells the muscle cell to calm down.
And the type of magnesium you take matters a lot. We're recommending magnesium glycinate. Why that specific one?
It's all about absorption. You want it to actually get into your cells. Magnesium glycinate has an absorption rate of around 80%. Compare that to the cheap stuff, magnesium oxide, which can be as low as 3%. It's just not comparable.
And this is really important. Do not take extra calcium supplements with this. The problem isn't a lack of calcium, it's a lack of regulation. You'd just be adding fuel to the fire.
Exactly. Fix the flow with D3 and magnesium first. That's the core fix.
Okay, next up, the absorption barriers, insulin resistance.
Right. High insulin levels basically block D3 and magnesium from getting into the cells. So a low-carb, healthy, keto-style diet dramatically improves your insulin sensitivity. It removes the barrier.
And you can speed that up with intermittent fasting. Just reducing how often you eat, maybe to 2 meals a day, is one of the fastest ways to normalize insulin and make this whole protocol work better.
Now, while you're fixing the root cause, you still need immediate relief. And thankfully, nature has some options that are just as good as the drugs.
Let's start with a classic, cod liver oil. Studies show it works as well as ibuprofen for menstrual pain, but with no side effects.
Then you have ginger and fenugreek. Both have solid studies showing they are comparable to NSAIDs for pain relief.
And let's not forget simple physics, a good old-fashioned heating pad. Studies found it was as effective as taking an NSA a day. It helps open up those blood vessels and reduce that pain from lack of oxygen. It's simple, but it works.
To round this out, a few supporting nutrients. Let's start with vitamin E.
Specifically, look for the tocotrienols form. It's more potent. You can find it in leafy greens, nuts, and seeds.
And vitamin B1 thiamine. It's crucial for nerve pain. A great source is nutritional yeast, which gives you all the B vitamins.
Finally, zinc and iron. Zinc is needed for D3 to work properly, and since bleeding can lead to iron loss, you need to be mindful of that. The best source for both is red meat.
And, of course, the one thing that helps everything, regular exercise.
Right.
It increases circulation, balances hormones, and is proven to reduce cramps.
So to bring it all home, we stopped looking at the pain, the symptom. We traced it back to the chaotic regulator, the parathyroid hormone. And that was only acting out because the one foundational piece, the hormone vitamin D3, was missing. We went from idiopathic, we don't know, to a clear, actionable deficiency that causes all this chaos.
It really forces you to reevaluate so many things. If a single foundational nutrient deficiency can cause this much monthly debilitating pain that's so often dismissed as just unknown, then you have to ask, what other common ailments are we treating with complex, side-effect-heavy drugs when the simple foundational answer might just be a nutrient away?